Mystery attracts mystery. Ever since the wide appearance of my name as a performer of unexplained feats, I have encountered strange narratives and events which my calling has led people to link with my interests and activities. Many of these matters I have told, and shall continue to tell very freely. But there is one of which I speak with great reluctance. In January 1910, I had finished a professional engagement in England and signed a contract for a tour of Australian theaters. A liberal time being allowed for the trip, I proposed to visit the principal historical localities of Lower Egypt before leaving finally for Australia. After some discussion, we decided to proceed at once to Cairo and the pyramids. The railway journey was tolerable enough and consumed only 4 hours and a half. The next day, however, precipitated us delightfully into the heart of the Arabian Nights atmosphere. And in the winding ways and exotic skyline of Cairo, the Baghdad of Harun al-Rashid seemed to live again. Not until afterward did I see that I should have applied at the hotel for a licensed guide. This man, a shaven, peculiarly hollow-voiced, and relatively cleanly fellow who looked like a pharaoh and called himself Abdul Reis el-Jogman, appeared to have much power over others of his kind. Abdul led us among such wonders as we had before only read and dreamed of. Old Cairo is itself a storybook and a dream, labyrinths of narrow alleys redolent of aromatic secrets. At length, Abdul took us along the Sharia Muhammad Ali to the ancient mosque of Sultan Hassan. It was sunset when we scaled that cliff and looked down from the dizzy parapet over mystic Cairo. The red sun sank low, and as it stood poised on the world's rim like that ancient god of Heliopolis, we saw silhouetted against its vermal holocaust the black outlines of the pyramids of Giza. Then we knew that we were done with Saracen Cairo, and that we must taste the deeper mysteries of primal Egypt, the black chem of Re and Amun, Isis and Osiris. The next morning, we visited the pyramids. 40 centuries, as Napoleon had told his campaigners there, indeed looked down upon us. The pyramids stand on a high rock plateau. The greatest pyramid, which lies nearest the modern road, was built by King Cheops, or Khufu, about 2800 BC, and stands more than 450 feet in perpendicular height. In the line southwest from this are successively the second pyramid, built a generation later by King Khephren, and, though slightly smaller, looking even larger because set on higher ground, and the radically smaller third pyramid of King Mycerinus, built about 2700 BC. The Saqqara step pyramid, which marks the evolution of the low mastaba into the true pyramid, showed clearly and alluringly in the sandy distance. Near the edge of the plateau and due east of the second pyramid, with a face probably altered to form a colossal portrait of Khephren, its royal restorer, stands the monstrous Sphinx, mute, sardonic, and wise beyond mankind and memory. Presently, we descended toward the Sphinx and sat silent beneath the spell of those terrible, unseeing eyes. That evening, the members of our party feeling somewhat tired after the strenuous program of the day, I went alone with Abdul Reis for a walk through the picturesque Arab quarter. Though I had seen it by day, I wished to study the alleys and bazaars in the dusk. Then we saw the vast pyramids at the end of the avenue, ghoulish with a dim, atavistical menace which I had not seemed to notice in the daytime. The native crowds were thinning, but were still very noisy and numerous when we came upon a knot of reveling Bedouins in the Souk Anahassin, or Bazaar of the Coppersmiths. I judged that they were discussing my professional performances and escapes from every sort of manacle and confinement in a manner which indicated not only a surprising knowledge of me, but a distinct hostility and skepticism concerning my feats of escape. Without warning, and doubtless in answer to some subtle sign from Abdul, the entire band of Bedouins precipitated itself upon me, and having produced heavy ropes, soon had me bound as securely as I was ever bound in the course of my life, either on the stage or off. How far or in what direction I was carried, I cannot tell. Setting me down on a surface which I recognized as sand rather than rock, my captors passed a rope around my chest and dragged me a few feet to a ragged opening in the ground, into which they presently lowered me with much rough handling. They were paying out that infinitely long rope very swiftly now, and I scraped cruelly against the rough and constricted sides of the shaft as I shot madly downward.